Go there.
Hey, come up on this camera for me, will you? I can't do it.
Good. As you can hear, we are joined. We are three again. It's took a little bit of doing. So sorry, listeners. You're very welcome to the episode 75 of the Malt Travel podcast. For those of you who listen to us regularly, you'll know that in episode 74, one of us didn't turn up completely, and we ended up just doing a duo. Well, that's nearly happened again this evening. So we've finally tracked Bruce down. He wasn't in the box, and he wasn't in the Crystal Palace. He was actually sat in his front room watching some shite on the telly, no doubt. Anyway, so we are here. We are back together as a trio once again for episode 75, which has been a while in putting together. So today is the 12th of January, 2026. So happy New Year to everybody. We're going to reflect back on a Christmas, because we did promise that we would do a Christmas edition. It's got a very long title. We Three Kings of Orient are bearing gifts we traverse afar, field and fountain, moor and mountain, following yonder pub star. We'll do a bit of the field and the fountain probably in the next edition, because most of this is going to be talking about, again, unfortunately, there was a trio, but it wasn't me. So it was Bruce, Nick, and John. I think joined, didn't he, on your big boys Beano to London, just before
David.
Christmas. So David, sorry, not John.
David.
So we're going to spend most of the time talking about their escapades in London. But anyway, gentlemen, it's good to see you. I did have many beers with Nick over the Christmas festivity periods, because he came down to Staffordshire for a while, and then we also went up to the lakes. We've seen Bruce. Well, no, I've just met his Bruce Brealey, and he's been quite quiet, I will say, everybody. It looks like he's had, I know his poor lady missus was struck down with the Christmas lurgy. So, and Bruce, like he's lost about 8 stone. There's no one's been cooking in the house.
I did curtail things very badly. We're quite busy before Christmas, but then it's been, I think, went about a fortnight without having a drink, really.
Oh, dear, mate.
Shingle.
And we're not doing dry January, any of us, are we? We're not doing dry January.
No.
Are we doing dry?
Damaging the
I keep telling people as they're doing dry January, I say, well, don't expect to go by the pub in February because it's probably bloody closed. If you don't want to drink, still go to the pub, drink other stuff, but don't not go to the pub.
Right, very quickly, there is pub news, but we're not going to do too much pub news, so we're going to get bogged down with that. So it's obviously the start of a new year. There's lots of doom and gloom about pubs being closed. I noticed another pub chain is closing today. And there's still lots of kicking backwards and forwards with this business rates, and for some it's going to do very well, and some it's not going to do so well. And I think it's anyway. We're there with that. I would say the pubs that I went to on Saturday were all absolutely heaving. So the pubs certainly in this bit of the world, the one or two are quiet, but the ones that are doing a good job, I think, are full. And I think Nick, you were saying the same about in Malton. Really, the pubs that are good pubs are ticking over, despite dry January. Just two quick things. One is there was Boke and Bailey. I don't know if people follow them. They do write some good stuff, and they tend to bring together, I think, once every couple of weeks, kind of lots of what they've picked up. And they were just talking a little bit about it. Just feel like there's a bit of renaissance. So Boddington's we talked about here. Cask beer was released, wasn't it? Bass seems to have a release of life. Suddenly, InBev are suddenly promoting Bass. And Nick, we went to a few places, didn't we, where there was Bass on, and you got some very nice Bass beer mats. This is a bit of a thing. And obviously Guinness is just going mental, isn't it? Guinness, Zero Guinness is now as big. So all good. And I just thought I'd share this one with you, because it's a while since I've seen these in any pubs. But somebody was celebrating the good old pub, whatever you want to call them, barm cake, stotty, but the filled cob on the bar with an inch of cheese and some raw onions on it, and for £1. You don't see them very often, do you? Again, I guess it's bloody health and safety.
Nick saw them in Charlie, didn't we, Nick? The big pub in Charlie, very familiar.
Yeah, was it Charlie? Was it? No, yeah. What? Where was it?
Charlie, yeah.
Was it Charlie? Yeah. And the pub just other side of the railway track, wasn't it? Yeah, literally, yeah. That was one of their main sellers. Yeah.
And of course, in good pubs, and I've not seen this for years. Next to this would be a big bowl of kind of pickled sliced onions that you could that would sit there for weeks, and would kind of slowly bubble and ferment, and you could get a whole load of that as well. The Jolly Potters in Hanley, in Hartshill in Stoke used to do that. You used to get a bap, and they have this big bowl of fermented vinegar pickled onions. So very good, right? So anyway, let's crack on. Christmas has been and gone, so I think we had a fairly. I think always had a few drinks, etc. Christmas. I was going to do a big thing about Christmas, but it's actually reading into it. There's been obviously a long tradition of Yule oils, and obviously winter solstice is kind of where it all probably comes from. When they did tend to brew slightly stronger beers, and I know that Bruce has kindly he sent me and Nicholas some nice Samuel Smith's winter warmer beers, some nice winter ales, which are good. And I've got to say, gents, I've been quite impressed with the winter ales this time round, because normally some of them maybe, again, I guess because it's kind of what rosy nosy and that kind of, the macro brands, chuck some cinnamon and a bit of whatever in the brew. But actually, no, I've had some really good Christmas beers this time round. I think I said me and Nick have been out a few times. I think we were steady, Nick. It was quite enjoyable. We didn't go anywhere that was madly stupid. Obviously, it was busy. We went out New Year's Eve, early doors, and it was steady. I didn't see any aggro or violence. Most pubs again were chipping away quite nicely. Nice range of ales.
Yeah, I mean, we were in Keswick, weren't we?
Yeah.
And I said I was surprised that none of the pubs had any door staff on. Yeah. I would say Keswick is probably the same size as Malton. And yet, the few remaining pubs in Malton, they have to have door staff on because the clientele they have knocking about. But whether because Keswick's a bit more affluent and, you've got a lot of people who certainly were up there on holiday. And those people tend to behave themselves around the local idiots who'll just stick in their own local pub. But yeah, that's something that I noticed with the Keswick was.
I mean, I think we went out Christmas Eve, didn't we? We had a meal kind of Christmas Eve, late afternoon, early evening. So I think, Nick, we managed to sneak out, didn't we? Kind of early lunchtime, I remember rightly, and just had a couple of beers round Newcastle early doors. And then did we sneak out Boxing Day as well? I can't remember. We did Boxing Day. We walked to town, didn't we? We just had a quick dip into town on Boxing Day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that was it, really. I mean, you stay local.
Again, we were a bit Murray bound, and we were very busy leading up to Christmas. We were all over the place, but then just all Christmas being poorly. So I think when after Christmas Day, we did go to the pub Christmas Day to the Crystal Palace, and then we went out about for 10 days, and that was only about there. No, so it's a bit of Venice climax. But Nicholas said about door staff. I mean, the trouble now is the margins on pubs are so horrendously thin. If you've got two door staff, them lads are on £15-20 an hour. So you've got £30 an hour. You're there for 5 hours.
Yeah.
It's £150. It's like with the 400 pints you've got to shift in it. I mean, it's just. And when
you
read
it can be a stipulation of your license, though, bro. Some pubs don't have the option.
I know, but they're the high volume pubs. But for normal pubs, I mean, it's mad. I mean, when you read that margin some of these pubs are making, every expense is just like they need to sell dozens of pints to cover that expense. It's just you have to. I mean, it's very hard.
The thing about Keswick was, Nick, you remember quite a lot of the pubs had very weird, well, not weird, but very, very early closing times. So by 9 o'clock, 9:30, most of them actually shut. The brewery shut at 8, didn't it? Brewery tap, and the crafty bar shut at 9:30. So anyway, just two of the last couple of news bits. Then there is now a Crewe to Manchester Real Ale Trail, which we need to look into. Cool. I picked up I think it was a Stockpot Camera magazine, and they were promoting the new Crewe to Manchester Real Ale Trail, which apparently is a thing. So we'll have to have a look at that. And I mentioned Christmassy beers, and my choice of beer was Standing Stones Winter Solstice by Limestone Brewery, which I would say very, very nice. And that sits in a Brew York glass. That's in the Boat and Horses in Newcastle, which is coming my new local, which me and Nick might get onto shortly. Right, so let's talk about then the Yorky boys trip to the Big Old Smoke. I think, Bruce, you ended up actually doing this 2 days in a row, didn't you? You managed to get yourself down to London. slightly
Pretty much.
overindulgence. It's probably why he's not drank much over Christmas.
Yeah.
So was this the Friday before Christmas or the Monday before Christmas? When did you
It was
go?
a Wednesday, wasn't it? It was a Wednesday.
Wednesday. Before that
So it
Christmas
was
week started, wasn't it? Yeah.
So it was all jolly good fun. So we started off, Nick, it seems so far ago now, didn't it? You catalogued them, didn't you? So we headed off first got there and went.
Shall we rewind a bit, Bruce? Our proposed itineraries. On your proposed list, you had 3 bloody pseudo-Irish bars listed. I said, no, Bruce, I'm not going 3 pseudo-Irish bars. I'm not going all the way to London, drink Guinness. I said, I want to drink a pint of Young's. I want to drink a pint of Fuller's. I want to drink a pint of Sam Smith's. And I want to drink a pint of Guinness. And then just see how we go. We managed to achieve that, actually. We had a good cross-section.
So we started at Leadenhall Market. So we went to Horizon 22, which was free of charge. Then went to Leadenhall Market to the Lamb, Victoria Pub. Leadenhall Market is quite lovely. Have you been, Michael?
No,
it's really quite scenic.
No.
It's well worth it. And obviously, you've got like 4 pubs lurking in there now. I mean, and to be fair, the Lamb's quite impressive on the outside, but inside they've stripped all the furniture out, haven't they, Nick? Which I think detracted from it a lot. Apparently, the room to go to is the one upstairs, but you've got to be dining to go upstairs. Then you're looking over it. But I mean, you can scan a seat. It's been a 1780 proper, real low frontage. It's full of character from the outside, but I say because you go inside, because it's really full of city traders, because of course you're in the heart of the financial district, and they don't care what they're paying. I think 3 halves in here cost us, I believe it was £11.70, £11.80, was it, Nick? It was delicious beer though. I had a pint of Harvey. It was probably some of the best beer of the day. I had the Harvey Sussex Best, which was absolutely delicious. We knew we were in for quite a few, so we stuck to halves. But it did kind of go to show, really, when you're in London, when the spoons are so packed. We went across the road then to the Cross Keys, which was a headquarters of a long defunct bank that closed in the 1930s. Huge floor space, isn't it? And incredibly well restored, isn't it? Almost a Soviet bloc feel to it. But I mean, all the pints in London now, it's the new central London price, isn't it? Were £4.54 a pint. So you were getting 3 pints in there for £13.62, where 3 pints in the Lamb, where you couldn't really sit down, would have been over 22 quid. So you really do see why they're doing well. And I think what it brought to us as well is actually the quality control on by the spoons in London is so much better. Seems the further south you go, but especially in London, they are looking after the pubs. They all seem cleaner. Even the food looked better. I mean, we noticed the food coming out, and the food looked an upgrade. And I couldn't help seeing people talking, camp the chips up north. There seem to be big healthy portions down there. Huge. Big choice of beers on.
I think the staff in London are used to working at a bit of a quicker place than a lot of other places. You know, and I think this is all down to being hiring and firing. You know, obviously it's a massive industry in London. He's working in pubs, and I think if you prove your mettle, then that's why you get hired.
I mean, that's right. I mean, it was. But I mean, to be fair, it was delicious. The Harvey's beery at the Lamb Pub. So that the Cross Keys, that by the spoons, that's on the Bishopsgate, isn't it? Just up across the Leadenhall Market. So, it was impressive. About 12 brailers, I think.
Just a bit of context. So you got the train down to from York to London. So what time did you arrive in London?
We were there for just after about 10:30. We shot up Horizon 22 first, didn't we?
Yeah. So these pubs look busy for a Wednesday lunchtime in December, don't they?
Yeah, we were getting them about lunchtime. Yeah.
Yeah.
Edie, can you bring me the charger, please? Oh, sorry, I meant to mute you.
So you mentioned Horizon 22, and again, if you're on YouTube, there's a nice little picture there of David and Nick hearing out over Tower Bridge, and I know Bruce has explained that part of the planning ops, isn't it, Nick? There's got to be you've got to offer free tourism or some kind of viewing platform.
A tourist attraction, yeah. So well worth it. Yeah, the race tickets a week before, and all you basically do is go online, get your tickets free. It's got one of the fastest lifts in Europe. I can't remember how many floors went. About 70 floors, I think. Took about 34 seconds. But the view is as good, if not better, than the Shard. You're directly across from the Shard, and in fact, you're actually a little bit higher than the Shard. Yeah, and obviously, it doesn't cost you anything. Yeah. And then you're on the good side of the river as well. So the pubs that Bruce has talked about, and then we jumped on a bus back up to Holborn. And then obviously Holborn is a cracking area for some very historic pubs. So whilst Bruce is getting his charge, we went in the Mitre, which if anybody knows
these
it,
pictures are back to front. That's one on the right hand side there, isn't it? You're on YouTube.
Yeah,
we've got this
we set David the task. Dave is fairly familiar with the London, but he never been to the Mitre. So literally, you get to the Mitre down two little passageways, or coming from York, you call them ginnels, but they are literally single file. One has got a sign over the entrance to it and a sign stuck on the lamppost. The other end, there's no signage whatsoever. There's just a metal security bar that you have to walk sort of either side of, and then you end up going down there. So, and in fact, the street, I can't remember what it's called now, but it's often used for period dramas because it's one of the last preserved sort of Edwardian terrace in the city of London. So we let David find, and he was just about going to walk past, but there was so much noise coming from down this corridor that he realised it was down there. So we went in the Mitre. This is famous for having the pub built around a tree that supposedly Queen Elizabeth I, when she was meeting her boyfriends, she would dance around the maypole as what formed this tree. So they had a good range of beers on in there. And then we moved.
It's actually on Hatton Garden, isn't it? It's actually on Hatton Garden, the Jewellery Street, isn't it, the front entrance?
That's right. Yeah. And then we moved up Holborn up to the City of York, which is another one that David not been in. Once again, that's the famous Sam Smith's pub. Pretty blown away. We managed to get ourselves in a little stall in there, and that was ticking over nicely because by now it was sort of like late lunchtime, getting into early afternoon. And then where did we go from there, Bruce? So we went City of York, Princess Louisa.
Yes, we did. Yeah, the Princess Walk to the Princess Louise, which was, if you've not been before, it's incredible. And David could not believe it. Actually, reading about it, Nick and David both thought a lot of the stuff was restored, but believe it, about 95% of it's original, Nick. I was reading about it when I came back. It's just bonkers.
Fairly quiet in there, wasn't it? But there was just one person behind the bar, and he was really struggling because it's a huge, great big oval bar that dominates the actual building itself. And because of that, because of all the screening and all the separate little snugs, he was basically do 360 degrees around the bar. ID who was wanting to be served next, but we had our Christmas cocktail in there. So we got a bottle of Sam Smith's organic chocolate stout and a bottle of wild cherry beer. And so we had we call it Black Forest Gateau, and David was very impressed with that. He went as far as saying you could seduce women with this. He said, "I said, well, so crack on then, David."
City of York and Louis and Bristol, they're both Sam Smith pubs.
Not to mention the Sam Smith place in London. Oh yeah, Sam Smith pubs are actually no cheaper, and in many cases dearer than most pubs now. Obviously, taking the view that he's running these like historical gems, and people are going to pay to access them, and the price. And then from there we got the bus to Oxford Circus, didn't we? Yeah. And our first ever visit for all of us to the Champion, which was pretty impressive. Victorian pub, famous for its incredible stained glass windows, and I mean they were a sight to behold. Mostly famous sporting people from the past, but Florence Nightingale chucked in there amongst the mixers, wasn't she? A bit random, weren't the people? Wonderful little pub. Sadly, no hand pump, and it really did that bad hand pump, didn't it?
But it's literally 100 metres off Oxford Circus, so you're very much right in the centre of London. If you're just wandering down a side street, then it's it's there, so it is so central. But it's not a big place. It's L-shaped on a corner. But every window in there is it's like sitting in a church, really, with the light coming through the windows. And one none of us have been in.
You just mentioned price because again, I think these pictures are all slightly. I don't know what I've done with them, but your three halves in the City of York cost you £10.25. Well, in something like the Kestrel in Chester, you get about 4 pints for that, and then your Sam Smith cocktails, you paid £15.50 for 2 bottles. Now those bottles are normally slightly expensive. Yeah. So that's that's definitely that's definitely going some in it. Wow. It's quite expensive, but like you said, but yeah,
But yeah,
you're right.
I think Fuller's pubs are cheaper than the Sam Smith pubs now in London.
Yeah.
Very
Which is
good.
astonishing.
So did you were jumping on the bus, using the tube, walking where you had
Yep.
is that how you're getting around where you're in London?
Yeah.
And is
then
it
we
still,
jumped on the bus.
is it can you can still get a day rover, can't you, in London for that kind of jumping about, can't you?
Well, I was using my Oyster card, but to be honest with you now, with credit cards, you can just tap in, tap out with your credit card, can't you, Bruce?
Yeah, your daily cap, I think, is £8.90 within
Right,
zones.
so you're pretty much just yeah.
Buses don't say you don't need travel cards anymore.
Yeah,
Tap off.
Yeah,
We'll have to get you down soon. I think we got the bus then from the Champion, went down Regent Street to see all the Christmas lights, and no, we didn't. We walked, didn't we? Because Nick navigated our path. We had a quick look in the blue posted estate, then ended up at the Devonshire, didn't we? Yes. Where? Because,
which is on the YouTube. If you're on YouTube, there's on the left hand side there. There's there's Nick and David looking like something out of the field. If you've ever watched that film,
yeah, it was surreal, really. Mediocre pint of Guinness, but the spot was absolutely rammed. I just can't understand what the appeal of the spot is, and everybody was drinking Guinness. And Bruce talked about the city slickers. Not quite blokes with briefcases, but like there's a heck of a lot of people in there probably wouldn't have a decent pint if it got tipped over their heads. It just seems to be flavour of the month at the moment, this spot, and this bloke has got license to basically shit out gold bars by the look of it. So it was uncomfortable, it was crowded, you couldn't walk through, you couldn't get to the bar. How the hell he gets away with it with his license, I don't know, because I would have said that pub was definitely overcrowded. All then spill out outside onto not just the footpath, but onto the road as well. And I say, literally, all he's doing is knocking pints of Guinness out.
It is incredible. I mean, then above that,
what's the pint of Guinness there? What's the pint of Guinness there?
It's gone up 50p, gone up to, it was 6.70. I think it was 7.20 a pint now, wasn't it, Nick? Quite astonishing, the money he's making.
More expensive than bloody Ireland.
And above that, we've got 3 floors above it, which is a restaurant, which are booked solid. People have to go online. Weeks say it's booked 3 times over. I mean, it is just a phenomenon, really. It's just that's it. I mean, there is actually little railings. I mean, you can't see in the picture, but the people have to stay within the railings when they're outside. Oh, thank you very much. It's lovely. Tea brought to me. I mean, it is just a phenomenon. But got to see it to believe it'll get you there. It's lovely. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Right, I think we're going to take a break there. Go on, Nick. Go on quick.
Yeah, I was saying, and then from there we literally just ducked up side road again.
Right. Well, we're going to let's leave that for the second half. So we're slightly over, I think, halfway through your trip to London. So let's catch up in the second half, and then me and Nick are also going to tell you about a little trip I took him on to deep East Shropshire, looking for Yorkshire mice, but that'll all be revolved very quickly. So, gents, have a break and then come back and see you in part 2.
Bye. Yummy. Now I've got to do part 2 now. Let's go into